Yep, we can avoid the attack. Great! Now we just have to go 2 levels further down, and then we are done. Finally. Okay, I think it's that direction we want to go into. Right. Better make another save here. Then call the elevator. Okay. You coming? I mean, I don't want to be too, okay, yeah. Here we go. And then we go down. Do we need to go all the way down, or do we need to... I think it's actually the middle one. Because then we get here. And if we go further down, we get... Let me think about it. No, we won't go further down. Fine. At least Basso won't run away. But not that far down. Jeez. Not that far, no. That's where we need to stay. And I'll probably just... we want to make a run for it. I'm not sure which way is the safest, but I will just go on and assume that it's... maybe this one? I don't know. These zombies are thankfully pretty slow, which means we will get away from them. And then just go the way out again that we came in. And then this level is done. Thank God. Towards the end it got really old, didn't it? Yep. So just go in there. Basso, once again, thankfully won't drown if we take a swim with him. And then we can conclude this level. And everyone's going to be happy. Especially me, because I can conclude this level. Wasn't that bad. But it had a lot of really unnecessary stuff in there. I kinda enjoyed the first level more for being more to the point, I suppose. I mean, you got into the building, you got what you needed, and then you got out again. Done! Fine, continue. And the man-fools piled rock on rocks and raised a treesy roof. Hammer saws tear the skin of goodsy wood, and laughs at the woodsy lord. And when learns the lord of this, he sends his beastesses to the man-fools, who attacks and hammer saws their useless fleshes, and build him a house of they rotting skins.
I was pissed at Cuddy for a good while after the prison debacle. But hey, you can't blame him for what the Hammers did to him. So I decided to go after that horn Felix talked about. Not like I had a whole lot of choice, really. The rent is due. My landlord's even tougher than the Hammers. The map's pretty specific about where the entrance is. Too bad it's not as clear about where the horn is. Felix did some scrounging before he left, and his notes say the horn is in the tomb of some nobles, the Quintus family. Guess I'll just have to explore. Felix, always helpful, also said that the catacombs are supposed to be haunted. I think I'll go make some inquiries about where a heretic like me can get some holy water. Always go prepared.
Hello there everyone, I am your German snob, and this is another episode of Let's Play Thief. And as you can guess, this should actually be on the beginning of the video, but let me explain myself. Well, you know, yesterday I kinda did this already as part of my previous video. You know, all the stuff you just saw. But when I got to this part, the cutscene failed to trigger. So then I thought, at the point where I made that last cut, You know, I thought I'm just going to end it here and do the rest tomorrow. That's why I didn't have my usual outro in the last episode. So, and now you know that. For today we have a new mission. Down in the Bone Hoard. Now what do we have here? Search through the ancient Bone Hoard and procure the legendary Horn of Quintus. In addition to garnering the Horn of Quintus, find and steal the fabled gemstone, the Mystic Soul. What use do the dead have for their treasures anyhow? Relieve them of at least 2,000 worth of valuables. The Mystic Soul had a sister stone called the Mystic's Heart, also thought to be in the Bone Hoard. Find it, make it yours. Came for, get back to the surface. Sounds simple enough, but it is a rather big departure from the missions we've seen so far, and I suppose it can't hurt to stock up on holy water. And while we are at it, maybe some noisemaker arrows. I mean, it can't hurt after all. Okay, now let's play the mission. As I said, it's a rather big departure from the ones we've played up to now. In that this time we are not exploring some... well, some sort of building that is still in use, but rather an ancient crypt. Thief, especially, well, you know, this game, Thief 1, Thief 2 is better about it, has quite a lot of these missions that have you explore some ancient temples and such. Kind of going on about that whole, yikes, Indiana Jones kind of thing, that adventure archaeologists kind of stuff. You know, it is generally agreed upon to not be as good as, say...
It's a long way down.
Indeed, as, say, dimensional levels, but I wouldn't say they are bad. I just say that they are kinda out of place. Well, truth is, they're sort of an artifact from the time when this game was supposed to be something else. I think I didn't touch upon this up to now, but maybe now is a pretty good point to do so. So the point is that this game was not initially supposed to be a stealth game, because as I already mentioned, back then stealth games didn't really exist. It was rather supposed to be a more straight-laced first-person action game with a heavy focus on combat. Now, the combat was at first supposed to be very sophisticated, more so than engines at the time allowed. Which is why instead we need to avoid that zombie. Instead we need to avoid that zombie. No, but really, instead they went for something different and therefore more or less invented the stealth genre. And one gotta admit that that's pretty impressive. Thank God the zombies are really slow, because otherwise they'd be a problem. However, there might be one anyway, because I'm not sure where to go, because at this point now, we are blind. Or rather, I am blind. Well, someone is blind. I think that's what needed to be said, and... you know what? Let me go up there again. Really, I don't know where to go exactly. Down there's that zombie. Okay. Don't want to have trouble with him. But back here there seems to be a bit more. Well, what was that other place about then? Hope there wasn't any loot that I've missed. Do we have a map of here? Yeah, but it's very vague. And really not all that useful. One might argue it's not useful at all, but rather completely useless. That was a bad idea. I know, it was very hard to tell. But generally my rule of thumb is, if it kills me, it's probably not that great of an idea. Is there a safe way to get down here? Well, there most certainly is, if we use a... Where is it? Yeah, here we have it. A rope arrow. Because if we use a rope arrow, we can use it to climb down there. And while I know that it's not very realistic for an arrow to support our weight, won't complain. And anyway, it's more realistic than, say, the water arrows. I mean, come on, it is a fantasy game. It is more on the low end of the fantasy spectrum, but it is, after all, fantasy. Even though it is a rather unconventional kind. Seeing how it's not really that Tolkien-esque kind of fantasy, but more of a... maybe Dickensian meets Tolkienian? I don't know, there are quite a lot of influences in here. Some of which are Alaris. I'm not sure if that means anything. A lot of influence in here. Though I would say that this game's atmosphere is fairly unique. I think this general style is usually called gaslight fantasy, which is kind of a more fantasy-oriented subgenre, or less subgenre, more brother genre of steampunk. And yeah, there are not really that many works that have that kind of style. I mean, there is, for example, the Golden Compass books, which I never really liked, but I know that a lot of people do, or well, you know, there's a really great French movie called The City of Lost Children, La Cité des Enfants Perdus, which I always really liked because I saw it as an example for how good fantasy can be once one gets Tolkien out of his system. And yeah, I'm rambling on about unrelated stuff, but that's mostly because I am kinda lost here. Though really lost might be the wrong word. I suppose I have a vague idea of where I could go, but this whole area is fairly confusing. I wouldn't say it's uninteresting, like it is at least very different to what we've seen up to now. But I'm not sure if it is so in a good way. As I already said, I like the more inhabited kind of levels, and there's a holy water back I can't believe that it just slipped into German there. A source of holy water, for the love of God, which we could use to turn our water arrows into holy water arrows, which would be more effective against the undead. Isn't that nice? So what I was going to say, I love the more, or I prefer the more inhabited level, like the mansions or even the prison we have up to now. These Indiana Jones temples here, they're not bad. But the game is at its best when it, and that's a pressure plate, it makes arrows shoot at us. The more you know. So yeah, I prefer it when the game pits us against human enemies. Also, I'm pretty sure that that's loot. Yes, it is. For, I don't know, these ancient tombs, they're not my kind of thing. We're not playing Tomb Raider here, which coincidentally was published by the same publisher as the Thief series Eidos. I'm not sure if it still is, because you don't really see Eidos all that often nowadays, but it might just be. I mean, a new Tomb Raider game was just coming out. Are you a zombie? Yep, I take that as a yes. A hammerite zombies, I can't believe such a thing exists. Let's get out of here. Really, that guy, I don't enjoy his company. Because the thing is, fighting human enemies is far more satisfying than fighting the undead, seeing how they're just going to stand up again. And any way to really deal with them permanently will be a waste of water arrows, which we could use in a more efficient manner. So therefore, I am not really enjoying that kind of levels. Talking about water arrows, would it be worth to... I don't know. Well, there was loot in there. Now let's just get away before that zombie can attack us. Same will be said about that zombie. Also seems like there is a lot of water around, which means we are allowed to swim. The good thing is Garrett can hold his breath for a pretty long time, but he can't hold it forever. So that means we shouldn't be too careless about this. Wait. Anything here? Well, no, because that's where we came from. That's nice to know. So we don't want to run around in circles. Like, obviously. That's the other place. And that's the other place. I think that gives you a very good idea of where we are. And something tells me that there's going to be a trap here. I mean, just look at these holes. Don't they just scream, I'm going to shoot arrows at you, better be careful. And so does the skeleton. So we better stand not in the line of shot. See? Heh. It shoots one every time I open or close it. But is anything in there? No. Is anything in there? A speed potion. I would have preferred loot, but... well, I guess it's not that bad. Though I right now don't really have any use for it whatsoever, but... yeah, you know... I can't believe that that one's empty. What a shame. But okay, nothing we can do about that. That looks like a pressure plate. So that means we don't want to stand directly on it, which we just did, but... yeah, we got away until this thing fell on us. Before this thing fell on us. What is it with me and mispronouncing things today? And I mean, I know, it's not like I wouldn't do that pretty frequently, but, well, you know. I guess it has just kind of become part of my personal style that I occasionally mispronounce things, or say things wrong. Because really my English tends to be kind of poor. You know, truth is, much of my English I didn't actually learn in school. Because... oh hey, you are a guy. And that means you're going to burn? Because otherwise you're going to hurt me. No, thing is, these things are Burricks. They're this game's equivalent of dragons. They are rather large, though not really as large as you expect dragons to be, lizard things that breathe poison gas instead of fire. That is, as far as I know, pretty flammable. Yeah, we're just going to use normal arrows here. Oh, you nasty buggers. They take a lot of arrows. Can you tell? Yes, you can. But eventually they die. And what was I talking about before? Yeah, a lot of my English I didn't learn in school because really with what you learn in school here you don't really get all that far. You know, I mean, you can go and order a burger at McDonald's or something, but anything more sophisticated than that, no, not really. So ironically, I learned most of my English by watching videos on YouTube and, you know, reading English websites and such. So basically what... oh, just die already. What enabled me to do Let's Plays on YouTube was mostly watching Let's Plays on YouTube. Which might be considered kind of ironic, you know, if you're not too picky about these things. Oh, you're dead, fine. No, you're not. Well, never mind then. See, that kind of stuff is just tedious. At least he's running away now. Yes, you do that. But we shouldn't feel safe yet, because he should be still around. And we can pick up the arrows again that we've wasted. Because they apparently even stick in rock. I mean, why the hell not? Oh, damn it. Can you tell that I'm not really liking this level all that much? Oh, I think you can. I think you can very well tell. Tell very well. Whatever. Just die. Yeah, their attacks are not that hard to avoid, but still hard enough. You see. And then they run away. Well, they sound vaguely like dogs that run away. Yeah. Anything up there? That little alcove, yeah. And a rope for some reason that is just conveniently there. Let's get on it. Though it looks to be empty, oh, actually not, there's a branching path there. And then we get here in a slightly different looking cave. I wish there were less caves. And there are going to be more in this game. I mean, I haven't played it that far, but I know it. At least there was water down here. Okay, can we get out of here again? I think so. But it will probably send us on a detour, and therefore be annoying. And also, what is to be found here? A dead guy? Is he a zombie? Well, I won't put it past him, but it doesn't really look like it. Also a book. Well, something to read for us. Oh, hey Felix, we have heard that name before. Felix doesn't care, but we've definitely found signs that Adolfo has been here before us. I don't know if he found that fabulous gemstone said was here, but if it's still here, it's worth more than the lousy horn of quintuplets or whatever the thing is called. If I'm reading the signs right, Adolfo was convinced something useful was deep down below the Burrick tunnels. Oh, I hope so. Because I really don't want to go through all these caves for nothing. You know, disregarding the fact that this would be very poor game design. Like from a meta perspective. Okay. Well, it looks like now we're going up again. See, that's what makes this level so much worse than most of the other ones. It just, everything looks the same. Which makes it confusing to navigate and not fun to look at. Oh hey, talking about Burricks. They are going to be an issue. If I'm not careful, and I should maybe make a cut here, I don't know. Maybe it would be safer to do so. Well, not safer, but rather less tedious. So I'm going to do that. See ya. And here we are again, and now look how many arrows I've wasted. Could have done this in a more efficient way, maybe. But I didn't. So there. And that's my legitimization for that. Can we re-pick up some of them? Probably not, that would be too good. Well, what can you say? Oh, yes, we can. So that's where they stack, huh? That's pretty lame. But nothing I can do about that. I don't know, you know, the ruins, they were kind of interesting, but the Burrick tunnels, not very much. They're tedious, that's what they are. And maybe I'm just being whiny right now. Might very well be, and yeah, that's where we came from. Okay. Because really, so far this level didn't really overstay its welcome. I mean, it's not interesting, but it's not offensively boring. It's just, you know, I can't really say I'm having fun with it. It's more that it already feels like kind of a slog. Yeah. Just really samey looking caves and samey looking enemies and such. And it's easy to get lost here. See, even the map asks, where am I? In the middle of nowhere, that's where I am. Okay, here we are again. I think it's levels like these where the game shows its action game roots in the most obvious way. Any loot here, that's what I'm asking. Well, if you consider water auras to be loot, but personally I don't. So I can't help but call that some kind of disappointment. Ah, come on, it looks like there would be at least something down here. Well, it looks like there isn't, apparently. And here we are, in the actual temple again, at least not more caves. I wonder how long this video is already. Probably enough to justify an update. But I don't know, my feeling for like time of this game is not really all that good yet. I mean, I try to record my videos to be around 20 minutes. But right now they're more closer to like 15 minutes. Which is just slightly not enough. Once again, ideally a video for me should be 20 minutes. But nonetheless, seeing how I think we got somewhere here, where apparently the Quintus family and the Marao family and such lies, I think I am actually going to call it an update. So as you all know, I'm your German snob, this is Let's Play Thief, and I'm going to be seeing you again tomorrow. And until then, have a wonderful evening and goodbye.